Hi, thanks for joining the YouTube Live today. I'm Tami from the blog Nutmeg Notebook, where I teach people how to cook on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. That's also SOS free, standing for salt, oil, and sugar free. So this morning, Tom.
Hello.
And I went to Costco, Whole Foods, Sprouts, and Sam's Club. Took us 2 hours. We know what we're getting, so we go in and we get out. And we thought when we got home, hey, maybe we should do a YouTube Live because we haven't done a grocery haul in a while. And you guys seem to really enjoy those. So, and we like sharing with you what it is we buy. So Tom's going to post this on Facebook. He's going to stay here to moderate. If you have questions or comments, go ahead and put those in the comment section, and he will nudge me and let me know if we have a question that needs to be answered. Also, if you could share this on Facebook for us, that would be fantastic, because he's going to be busy moderating. I'm going to be busy talking, and we would like to get it out in Facebook to let more people know that we're live right now. A lot of people might be on their lunch hour. It's noon here in Northern California, and we'll be eating lunch pretty soon, but a lot of people might be on their lunch break, or in the East, they might be on an afternoon break right now. So that would really help us out. Also, if you would give us a like on our YouTube video down below, that really helps our ratings on YouTube, and we greatly appreciate you helping us out with that. So I think I'll start over here with a couple of things that are actually blocking your view of Tom. So at Costco, I'm gonna have to, everything's kind of mixed together. So I'm just gonna have to tell you what we got at what store as I pick things up and talk about them. So this is a fresh pineapple. These were like $2.99 at Costco. That's about what they usually are. And the last one that I bought, we let it sit on the counter for about a week before we cut into it. And it was juicy and sweet and absolutely delicious. We really enjoyed it. So I have big hopes for this one. I have a YouTube video showing you how to use a pineapple slicer. So check that out, because since I discovered that from my, oops, that was me talking. Since I've discovered that tool from my friend Heather, I love buying fresh pineapples now. And I used to buy the kind that came already cut up from Costco, and it was a lot more expensive. So check that out on our YouTube channel. I'm just going to set this aside so it doesn't obstruct your view. Then also today, when we were at Whole Foods, they had some beautiful looking fresh basil plants. This was $6 and some change, which is a really great bargain, because I'll put it in my kitchen window. I'll give it water, it'll grow, it'll keep producing for a while. And you know how when you buy those little cello packs of basil, how they start to go bad as soon as you put it in your home fridge? Well, with this, it'll last for weeks. So I have some ideas for some Italian things that I want to make, and also my fresh spring rolls. We use fresh basil in those and a little bit of cilantro or mint, and they are amazing. And we're entering a heat wave here in Northern California. It's supposed to be 106 over the weekend. So I'm thinking that the fresh spring rolls made with the brown rice wrappers is going to be perfect. And actually, we do have a blog post on that. Maybe you can find that and post that for everybody, Tom, for the fresh spring rolls that are on the blog.
Okay, I'll put that down.
So the fresh basil is great in that, and of course, Italian food. So I'm going to set this aside just to free up a little bit of space here. Now, we didn't need a lot of things today. I mean, you look at this and it looks like a lot, but because we just eat lighter, it seems like in the summer, especially in the heat, our appetites aren't as great, and we won't be super active. We won't be going hiking over the weekend because of the heat. So we probably won't have huge appetites. But here's what we bought. So you know I have to have my salad fixings. because we batch prep our salads, and I have to get all of those ingredients once a week. We usually do it either on Friday or Saturday, and I usually batch prep our salads for the week on Saturday. We do have a video on that and a blog post, and Tom will post, he'll post links to everything I talk about in the description area below the YouTube video. If he has time to do it while we are doing the video, he'll do that. Otherwise, when the video is over, then he'll add them. So a big main part of my salads that I batch prep, of course, is romaine. This is organic romaine. The first bag I picked up this morning actually had a live little bug inside. Oh, this one does too. There's like a little gnat in here. Look, right there.
It must be fresh.
It's very fresh, and it's organic. So there you go.
We can rinse him off.
Yeah, we'll rinse him off. So we use all 6 of the romaine heads of lettuce in our salads. And maybe, can I put it over there? Or maybe you can?
I'll grab it.
Okay, perfect. That's great. So another thing that goes in our salads is baby spinach. And we get this at Costco. And then we also get baby kale, but our Costco doesn't always have baby kale. And I got this at Whole Foods this morning. So, and what I do is I check those dates because I need these to last through next Friday, and the date is August 7th on these, and I believe next Friday is August 3rd. So that's one of the ways that I make sure that my salads are going to stay fresh, is on the triple washed vegetables and greens that I buy, I make sure that their date exceeds the date of the last day that I will eat the salad. That's a mouthful. I hope that makes sense to everyone. So anyway, baby kale, baby spinach, and I use all of that in the salads, as well as a head of organic purple cabbage. They call it red cabbage, but really it's purple. I don't know why they call it red. So I'll use this in that as well. Love that. And red onion also goes in that. And I'm going to also be making some, it's called chamol, and I learned how to make it from our son-in-law's sister, and they're from Honduras. And it is a fresh salsa. It's just chamol is what they call it in Honduras. And it's tomatoes and red onion and cilantro and lemon juice and lime juice and a jalapeno. So I made some for a family get-together we had earlier in the week for my birthday, and we ate it all gone. It was so delicious. So I got some more produce so I can make that again, and we will be enjoying that probably tomorrow. So that's what I got the red onions for. Let's see, what else goes into the salads? We get the shredded carrots, and I get these from Whole Foods, and I use about 3 bags now in my salads, as well as some broccoli slaw. This is organic broccoli slaw. Trader Joe's has it also. We just didn't have time to get to Trader Joe's this morning. It was already starting to get hot, and we wanted to get home and get all of our cold stuff put away. So I think that's pretty much what I got for, oh, the salads. Here, this too. This is the sweet kale salad. Now, for a while, my Costco had this in organic, but they're back to not having organic. I try to buy as much organic produce as I can, but there's just a few things sometimes that I can't get, and the plant-based doctors that I follow all say it's better just to eat the plants, whether they're organic or not organic. And so if you can't get organic, go ahead and get the regular. So I do like to use this in my salads. I batch prep them and then I turn them into chopped salads. And this is a nice mixture. I throw away, it has a little packet with some pumpkin seeds, and that's making a lot of noise. And
we're getting all those little.
Oh, well, can you turn the
windows.
volume down though? Because it's distracting. Maybe you can turn
Don't push that button.
F in the volume. You know, don't push it. So anyway, I like this. It's a nice combination of greens. They're already chopped or shredded, and I just love the flavor and the body that they add to my salads. So that's why I go ahead and buy that also.
It worked. The button worked.
Thank you.
I forgot to push F last time, and so it took us someplace else.
Yeah, it was just that it kept ringing and ringing.
Yeah, that's all those pop-ups you don't like.
Right. Okay, then while we were at Costco, then we also bought a big bag of organic broccoli, and we will just have this as a side dish with a lot of our dinner meals, whether I'm having Mexican or Italian or whatever. It could be Indian food, whatever I'm having. I do like a little bit of steamed broccoli. I can just add it to my plate when I'm reheating a plate of food in the microwave. And Tom likes to use this a lot in his soup. He makes a soup for lunch with a lot of vegetables, and he likes to toss it in there with that. And you could add it to your chopped salads as well. Then I also got some organic cauliflower, and they didn't have heads of cauliflower, but they had this. So I bought this, and I use this in a variety of different ways. I will be posting soon a Mexican taco mix that I make that's all veggies and has the cauliflower in it and is super delicious. So, or I can make soup out of this. I can roast it in the oven. I can air fry it. You know, it's just super delicious. Then we also got organic corn on the cob at Costco. I'm so excited this year. They have a lot of organic corn. Now, last year, I think we only had it for like a week, maybe 2 weeks. They had organic corn on the cob, but they've had it for weeks now. And I just love that because I can feel really good about eating it and feeding it to our granddaughter. Now, we really love to cook this in the pressure cooker. I have a YouTube video for that. Also, we like it in the air fryer, but I think we like it better in the pressure cooker. The corn, it's less dry. It stays more moist.
Yeah, I like the way it bites better out of the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
There's more moisture.
Yeah, it doesn't dry. The air fryer dries it out a little more, but if you like the dark way that you can get it and how it gets kind of crispy on the edge, I mean, it's just personal preference. And we also like it grilled on the barbecue grill. And then our son-in-law taught us to use fresh lime juice on it. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so amazing. You'll never want to have corn on the cob any other way. And it's super delicious. That's all it needs is a squeeze of fresh lime juice. So check out my YouTube video for corn on the cob in the pressure cooker or in the air fryer. And it is super delicious. So I'm just gonna set this over here because I'm running out of room. Then at Costco, we always buy the organic Baby Bella mushrooms, and we got 2 containers of them. Tom uses these every day, and then I use them for cooking, so different things that we do with them. And last week, we only bought 1, and then I used up like half of it the first day. So we went ahead and got 2 again this time so that we won't run out so quickly. We found some apricots, organic apricots. We're very fortunate that our Costco carries so much organic produce. Not all of the Costcos do. There's some others, you know, we live in a very densely populated area, so we have a lot of Costcos around, and some of the other Costcos don't carry as much as the one that we shop at does. So we got apricots this week, so we can both share these. They're dynamite if you put them in the air fryer. So delicious. You have to try it. Cut them in half, air fry them. I should do a video on that. We love fruit, especially the stone fruits are so good in the air fryer. Or figs. Figs are delicious in the air fryer too. So apricots, we got those because we have to have our fruit. Here, they can just sit here. They're not in the way. And then some strawberries. Costco has not been carrying organic strawberries, so I got these at Whole Foods. I think in the past, ours has always carried them, but they've turned moldy really quickly, so I think that's why they don't have them this year, because they didn't refrigerate them. They sat out on the tables, and I think it was just too warm, and they got moldy fast. So let's see, what else came from Costco? I think bananas. So we came home with 3 big bunches of organic bananas. A lot of these will end up going in the freezer. We'll let them get very ripe. You might be like us and have bananas in varying stages of ripeness. So I already have 2.5 bunches in a Holland bowl over on the counter that are very ripe. And I will be freezing those because I use those in my banana oat muffins, in the jammy bars. We like to make the nice cream out of them, and I'm super excited. I'm getting a new machine being delivered tomorrow. Tomorrow. So we'll have something new to show you. It's a late birthday gift, so I'm excited about that. We'll be talking more about that in the coming days. So then we got the bananas. I did not buy the organic tomatoes at Costco today because the ones that I bought last week honestly had no flavor. And I went ahead and got organic tomatoes, the little ones. What do they call these? Red grape tomatoes. And I got these at Whole Foods this morning. I'm hoping that these have more flavor than the Costco ones because why put them in the salad if they don't have any flavor, right? So I will wash these right away. I'll rinse them in my sink, lay them out on a kitchen towel to dry, and then I put them in a bowl. And that way, when I do my salad prep, they will be ready to go. And I usually have some left over. That way, they're already clean and they're in the bowl on the counter, and we can just snack on them. And they're delicious that way if they're sweet. So hopefully those are. So we got the red onions and the white onions at our Whole Foods this morning. I'm not cooking as much right now, like stews and chili and all that. So I didn't want to buy a big bag of onions at Costco. So we just picked up a few at Whole Foods. Then we also bought some peaches. What I really like about our Whole Foods is it carries local produce and it has signs up letting you know what produce they have that's local. So we got local grown peaches. So I will be making a little bit of the peach crisp with these. I'll probably put some blueberries in it, and that recipe is on the blog. I don't think we did a video. I think I just did. Did I do a video? I can't remember. You know, it's crazy. We've got so many videos going now.
Well, if they go to it on the blog and there is a video,
it'll be there. Right. So, yeah. I think that the peach, it's a cherry peach cobbler that's on the blog, but I'm going to be using peaches. You can substitute whatever fruit you want, and we have 2 that are in the refrigerator that are very ripe that I'm going to go ahead and turn into cobbler later today. That was Tom's request. Then these are pluots, and these are a cross between a plum and a peach.
And they're sweeter than a plum.
And I don't care for fresh plums, but I really like these. And our granddaughter, Sweet Pea, was here last week with us. And Tom was having one of these and she was like, what is that? And she tasted it and then she took it from him and ate the whole thing. And so then she offered me a taste and I loved it. So look for these pluots, a cross between a plum and a peach. And I find that
they're seasonal.
They are seasonal.
Yeah.
I find that plums, the skin on a plum is really tart, and that was something that I didn't like about them, but these are not tart, and they're a beautiful red color inside, super sweet and delicious and very, very juicy. So those are really fun. Then of course, every week we have to have green onions and some fresh cilantro, and I love Mexican food, so we'll be using these for some Mexican dishes, and I'll be using a lot of the cilantro in my chamole, which is a fresh salsa that I'll be making. And I will get around to making a video. Maybe we can, if we have time tomorrow, maybe we can tape it tomorrow. So this is a poblano chili, and I'm going to be just roasting it, and I have an idea for a sauce to make with it, so that's why I bought it. Then the 2 jalapenos, one for some refried beans, one for the chamole, the fresh salsa. So I like having those on hand. And if you don't have these on hand, the jalapeno powder works as a good sub. And sometimes if I buy the bag of these at Trader Joe's, I will take and freeze a couple of them. That way, if I decide to make something that calls for a jalapeno and I don't have one that's fresh, I can pull one from the freezer. So I don't like having to go to the grocery store to get ingredients for a specific recipe. I want to be able to pull things together from what I have in the house. Any questions or anything?
No, I think everybody's just listening right
Okay,
now.
wonderful. All right.
We have some hellos from Larry, from Nadej, and Linda, and Debbie says she likes our haul
Nice,
videos.
thank you.
And Spirit Junkie is here.
Oh, hi.
Spirit Junkie has been very consistent with attendance. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's keep going. I bought green lentils. These are organic green lentils from Whole Foods. This is 365 is the store brand, and those store brand items are usually very reasonably priced. So I know Whole Foods gets a bad rap, you know, people call it whole paycheck, and some things there are very expensive. I'm kind of a wise shopper when I shop there, and we have discovered that since Amazon has bought them, that a lot of the prices have gone down for the things that we like to buy. So I think that's pretty cool. So the green lentils, what I like to make with those for the summertime is taco lentils. There is a recipe that is on the blog, Nutmeg Notebook, so you might do the taco lentils, the chili taco lentils.
Oh,
a
to
post,
put on
a post for those.
On the comments.
Yeah, on the comments. And also in my Mexican Fiesta cooking webinar, which is an online cooking class. And we videotaped a cooking class that we held in our house, and we sell that for $9.95, and you get to watch me make 10 Mexican recipes, and then you get a PDF where you can print those out, and you can make a whole feast for your family or your friends. And I get emails from people all the time telling me thank you for that webinar, because they make all the recipes and serve them, because a lot of people struggle with what to serve for company when you have people that are eating the standard American diet that are coming over that don't eat like you do. I find that if you serve them ethnic food, they don't make so many comparisons as they would if you were trying to make a standard American diet meal vegan. So the Mexican food seems to work well. Anyway, on the Mexican Fiesta cooking webinar, I have a recipe for making taco lentils in the Instant Pot, which I really enjoy doing, and they are delicious and they freeze well. It makes a huge batch, but they freeze well. So I will portion them out into like 2 serving containers and put them in the freezer.
Is this the one, chili lentils for tacos?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put
and
that.
then I have a recipe that's similar, but not in the Instant Pot, that's on the blog for free, and Tom will post that for you. Okay. And so that's what these are earmarked for, because like I said, we're still eating down our freezer. We have a lot of stuff in the freezer. Then we buy this brand of tofu for Tom. I don't eat tofu on any regular basis just because it's too high fat for me. But you know, it's totally unfair, but guys can eat the higher fat foods, at least most of them, and not gain weight. And that's true for Tom. So we buy tofu for him, and he eats a little bit of tofu throughout the week, and it's perfectly fine.
Okay, we have Linda has a correction for us. Blue odds are a cross between plum and apricot.
Oh, you're right. I was saying the wrong thing. Thank you so much. A plum and an apricot. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you so much for correcting me.
And then Bastrop Caramel Pop. At the beginning, you talked about the bananas. We buy a lot of bananas ahead because we want them to get really ripe, and then we freeze them, and then they turn into all kinds of other wonderful desserts and treats later out of the freezer. So we buy a lot ahead, not with the intent of eating them all now.
No, we will be freezing those, and we use those in the quinoa banana oat muffins and the jammy bars and the mini jammy bars, and we use them to make nice cream, which, you know, is the vegan ice cream that you can make in a food processor or a high-powered blender or the Yonanas machine, and it's, so we use them for a lot of different things. And Tom does eat 1 banana a day in his morning cereal, in his oats. He has oats that he has, and he puts a banana in those. So that's why we have a lot of bananas. Then we also got at Whole Foods this morning some organic cherries, and these are delicious. We had bought a couple bags last week and really enjoyed them, so we got some more. And Yukon Gold potatoes. This is a 3-pound bag, and we only got 1 bag. It was like the last bag that they had, and we have some left over from our shopping haul last week, so we didn't need 2 bags this week. Then these are jicama sticks. These are already cut, you can see. And I really like these in my salads. I like to dip these in a little bit of salsa. I think they're delicious that way. And I like the crunch that they add in a salad. So I will just take them and dice them. They're already cut in a stick. I'll just dice them. Then it's super easy. I know you can buy the whole jicama, but the last time I did that, I never got around to peeling it and dicing it, and it ended up in the garbage. So I went ahead, paid a little extra, got it already done. We also get the unsweetened almond milk for Tom, and he likes this with his oats in the morning, and I will use a little bit of it if I'm doing some cooking or if we have our granddaughter over.
Did you notice that they've taken the large print milk off the label? Unsweetened
It just
almond.
says almond milk beverage. Yeah, that's
in
such a
fine
controversy.
print. Yeah, so the Dairy Council was trying to get them to not have milk in large print, and so they've changed that.
So these are our organic cannellini beans. I like to use these in the creamy balsamic dressing. It's a super popular dressing that's on my blog. Maybe you can link to that. The creamy balsamic,
sorry,
the creamy balsamic dressing.
Okay.
People love it because it doesn't have any nuts in it. It will have nuts if you use almond milk because it does call for plant milk, but if you use oat milk or hemp milk or something else, you can make it completely nut-free. It's also oil-free, and it's super delicious. It's very popular amongst the Chef AJ Ultimate Weight Loss people. Then we did buy...
I have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I have a comment. I have a comment.
You're going so well. I don't know where to
I know.
Jump in
interject.
there.
That's okay.
No. Alicia, on the organic produce, we buy organic whenever, wherever we can. But many of the MD lecturers will always say, if you can't find organic, it's better to eat the vegetable that's not organic than to not eat the vegetable. So we do always go straight to the organic island in the produce department, but like on bananas, we buy organic if they're there. If they're not there, then we buy the regular ones. We're not eating the peel.
There's a few things that I won't buy unless they're organic, like strawberries,
peppers,
or grapes, or bell peppers.
Really thin-skinned stuff.
If you Google the Dirty Dozen list, there's a list of a dozen vegetables that have the highest amount of pesticide levels when they're tested. And so we try to avoid those. And, our daughter doesn't feed our granddaughter any produce that isn't organic. And so we're very conscientious about that. And so we try to have all organic, especially if it's something that is going to go to the grandkids. So we try, but like I said, it's better to eat produce than to not eat produce just because it's not organic. Then we bought this Frontera Tomatillo salsa for Tom. I do make a delicious salsa verde, but I don't always have it made, and I don't have any made today. So we picked up this jar for him. It does have 150 milligrams in 2 tablespoons. Salt's not an issue for him. It doesn't cause him to overeat. We don't have hypertension.
We're not getting much salt anywhere else either.
No, and we don't add salt to anything that I cook, except for one recipe. Those refried beans have like half a teaspoon of salt. But otherwise, we don't typically add salt, so we don't get too hung up over him having some salsa with some salt in it, and sometimes I will have a little bit of the Costco red salsa if I don't have my homemade made up. So we just don't, we don't get hung up over a little bit of sodium in some of our condiments, because we're not eating, we're not sitting and having a cupful of it. We're having a little bit. So we don't get too worried about that. Then we got the salsa. Whole Foods does sell this, but we picked this up this morning at Sprouts because it was on sale at Sprouts, so we got it there. And Costco was out of tomato paste. I usually buy the Costco organic tomato paste, but they were out of it. So this morning I got the Sprouts, and this doesn't have any added sodium to it. So I picked up a few cans of that. I also got the tomato sauce, no salt added, organic. Then I was looking for the organic crushed tomatoes at Sprouts, and I didn't find any. I found tomato puree there that did not have any salt added to it, but I looked when we got to Whole Foods, and I found this is a new brand for me, Bio Nature 100% organic crushed tomatoes, crafted in Italy and no salt added. So I was excited about that because I can turn this into a really delicious marinara sauce. So I picked up a couple cans of it, and I'm hoping that they taste good. I've never tasted this brand before, so that's kind of exciting. Then we, of course, had to get some sweet potatoes. So these are Japanese sweet potatoes and some Hana yams. So we didn't need a whole lot because we had some left over from last week. So we just got enough to get us by. And I think, I just got the stuff that's in the cooler that's frozen to show them.
Well, okay, I'll get
If
that
you
for
want
you.
to pull that out. So if you have followed me for a while, you know that I batch cook. So we will be tomorrow batch prepping and batch cooking. We will batch prep salads. I'll make 12 of them. That lasts us for 6 days, and that will keep us going all week, so that we will for sure eat a big, beautiful salad, each of us, every day for one of our meals. We kind of follow the Joel Furman thoughts on making a big salad, one meal a day. And I will go ahead tomorrow and batch bake my potatoes. So we'll batch prep and bake Yukon Golds. Whoa.
Sorry.
Yukon Golds, Japanese sweet potatoes, and the Hana yams.
I'm probably making a horrendous noise.
It is. It's very loud.
Okay.
Okay. You have to take a breath. Okay, so this is upside down. Maybe you want to hold it. This is yours. So we stopped at Sam's Club was our last stop. Costco did not have any of the stir-fry vegetables. They're very inconsistent at our Costco with it. So we stopped at Sam's Club and picked up 2 bags of these, and these are frozen. And inside they have 5 one-pound bags of frozen stir-fry mix. And Tom has one of those every day, and those are not organic. They don't have those in organic.
Those go into my soup.
And those go into a soup he makes, but he's okay with having that not organic. And when Costco does have it, they have it in organic, and then we stock up on it. But sometimes we can find it at another Costco in the area that has a larger Asian population that shops at it. So we might be able to get over there and see if they have it right now. Then we also picked up the organic mango chunks, and these are frozen. These were from Costco, and we like to use these in a variety of ways. We like them in nice cream with the frozen bananas. That's super delicious. Sometimes I'll use those in a salad, or I'll thaw them out and make a salsa with a little bit of red onion, some lime juice, some cilantro, and did I already say cilantro? And jalapeno is super delicious, wonderful with Mexican food. You know, it's the sweet with the spicy is just a really nice combination. And then the dark sweet cherries I like to use, I know these are so good. I like to use these to make the nice cream with the frozen bananas. I'll use them in the cherries and peaches cobbler that we were talking about earlier. They're also wonderful just to put in a bowl and let them thaw out a bit and eat them as a snack. And our little 3-year-old granddaughter, Sweet Pea, loves them. And somebody asked me recently, is that her real name? No, that is her social media name that we give her. So these are delicious for baking. You can cut these up and put them in muffins. I believe I have a muffin recipe that I did with Heather Goodwin that's on the blog, where we cut up some frozen cherries and put them in some muffins. And those are really delicious and fun. And if you have the Breville Smart Oven Air, it holds a 12-cup muffin pan. And you can make those in your Breville, which is really fun. So I think that's everything.
One question for you.
Yeah.
This is from Alicia. What's the difference between a sweet potato and a yam? Is one healthier than the other?
You know, I can't really answer that. I think that they probably are maybe equal, but I can't say for sure. And we just eat a variety. And I really don't know the difference between a sweet potato and a yam. So, but we eat a variety of them, and we love the way they taste. And they're full of fiber and antioxidants, and they are super delicious.
The yams that our parents used to put in their Thanksgiving yam thing that they made were always like smallish and round. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if like a garnet sweet potato is a common sweet potato. Maybe that's a yam. But the yams that we don't buy them. But the yams that come in the cans. I
used to buy those
small
before we went whole food
and very
plant-based.
consistently shaped. So maybe it is a particular breed of
I don't know
potato.
the difference between a yam and a sweet potato. That's a great question, but I bet if you Google it, you could find the answer to that. And now I'm curious, so I need to do that too. So, and I don't know if one is more nutritious than the other. I've looked up, is a sweet potato more nutritious than a like a Yukon Gold potato or a russet, and really they are pretty similar and have pretty similar benefits. One has more vitamin A than the other, so it seemed like they were pretty similar. But I'm not an expert on potatoes. I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
What drives our variety is flavor and texture.
Yes.
Like the garnets have their own unique flavor. They're more of a watery sweet potato. The Hannah's make great dessert. We flatten them. You maybe mentioned that, and so that's a great dessert one.
We like to bake these and then air fry them after they've been baked and after they've sat in the fridge. But we have a video on that because we did a video on air frying them. And Tuesday we did a video all about showing you the different kinds of potatoes that we like to do, and that's on our YouTube channel. It's a Tuesday with Tami, and we showed you all the different kinds of sweet potatoes and potatoes.
Talked about what we did with them.
And talked about what we did with them. So check that out. So I think that's about it. We need to put all this stuff away, and then I need to chop my salad for lunch.
Val has a question for
you.
There's just one more question. Do you plan your menu for the week before you shop?
No, I don't. You know what? I use, what do I want to say? I cook a lot of ingredients and not as many recipes, if that makes sense. So I batch prep. So once a week, we batch prep grains if we need them. Sometimes we don't need them for 2 weeks. So Tom will make a whole pot full of rice in our rice cooker, and then we'll divide it out into containers that hold 4 cups and put it in our freezer. And then as we need rice, we just pull one of those containers out. And he eats a lot more rice than I do. I don't eat as much rice. I feel like I get more bang for my buck or my calories with potatoes. They're more satiating to me, and they're a little bit lower calorie density. That works well for me. So we'll do the grains, or we might do oat groats, or I might do quinoa. And then we will bake our potatoes, a wide variety of potatoes, sweet potatoes and Yukon Golds and, whatever we have that we've decided to have that week. And so we'll make those. Then we batch prep our salads, and our salads are 1 meal a day. So then we only have 7 other meals that we have to think about. And I will make, we have a lot of stuff that's in the freezer right now, but I might make taco lentils, or we might have an Indian soup. I always have the ingredients to make these different things because they call for canned tomatoes and bell peppers, and we didn't buy bell peppers today because I just got them at Whole Foods the other day, had a variety pack for $6.99 when we were there earlier in the week, and I already had those. So I always have all the
And the chopped salad simplifies everything because that's one meal that
for each of us
every single
day
is some type of chopped salad, and it's just changing up what we put on top.
Right. So I don't make a menu. I mean, unless we're having company and I know, the kids are all coming over, or we're having friends over, and then I'll decide what I'm going to make, and maybe I need to buy some extra ingredients for that. But otherwise, I have, celery and onions and carrots, and I have garlic, and I have all lentils. I have a wide variety of lentils and beans and all of those things in my pantry, and I just buy those as I need them. But I can pretty much make anything that I want to make, and so I don't have to menu plan anymore. It's so wonderful. And like I said, because it's summer right now and it's hot and our appetites aren't that great, we're eating even simpler and easier, I think, than we do during the winter months. So I've been making a batch of some kind of pasta type sauce. I don't eat it over pasta, but I make the zucchini noodles, and whether it's Alfredo or a marinara, and I'll have that over zucchini noodles for the evening meal. Or I've been making this Mexican taco filling that's all veggie based, and I'll have it over rice or potatoes, or just over a salad even. And so we've been eating really simple over the summer, and I haven't even been making soups or chilies or stews because we have such a big stock of it already made in frozen that we've been eating down the freezer a little bit at a time as well. So no, I don't menu plan, but you also have to remember I'm only cooking for the 2 of us. And back when we had kids at home, then I did have to meal plan. I knew what our schedule was for the week and who was going to be home for what meals, and I would meal plan. So I think we're just at a different stage of life also. Plus, we just cook a lot of ingredients, and the neat thing about it is we can get home at 6 o'clock and have no idea what we're going to have for dinner, and open up the refrigerator and we can pull a meal together, because we can put potatoes or some other starch, rice or quinoa or oat groats, and some greens and some beans together, and that's a meal. And we'll just put
There's
a splash.
always rice, beans, potatoes, corn in the refrigerator, ready to just eat and serve.
And so we can make a whole meal. We bought the corn on the cob, and tomorrow we will cook that in our Instant Pot. It'll all be cooked tomorrow. And so then we'll have potatoes cooked, and we can just make a meal out of that. And I have veggie burgers already made and frozen in the freezer. And when we eat the last ones of those, then I will make more. And so that's just kind of how we roll. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy, and I can pull a meal together from what ingredients we have in the refrigerator, and so can Tom. And a lot of times we're wanting something completely different. We don't always eat the same thing. Now in the wintertime, when I'm making soups, stews, and chilies a lot, we often eat the same evening meal then, because we'll take a soup, a stew, or a chili and put it over a baked potato, or I might have a potato and he'll probably have rice, because he loves rice. I like rice, but I don't love it like you do. And so we often eat the same thing then in the wintertime, but in the summer, I don't know, our appetites are just really different right now.
Couple things.
Yeah.
Going back up to the question, where did it go? Stephanie is asking about what we look for when we're buying. She noticed that we're buying the nut milk, or what ingredients we're looking for in it. And this one, we actually are buying it for what it doesn't have in it, because most of them, if you read the label, wind up, is it carrageenan? Do I have the right thing? Mm-hmm. They have carrageenan in them. And so the Whole Foods one is a simpler recipe.
This isn't the greatest one, but it's not the worst either. You know, there's some that you can get that are just almonds and water, but this one has sea salt added to it, and it has locust bean gum, you know, to make it appear thicker, and it has vitamin B12 and vitamin E added to it. So it's not the worst one, but it's not the best, but so
on a scale of good, better, best, it's probably in the better area.
Right,
and
right.
Then there's some,
but it's not the best, but it's also not the most expensive one either. And I've made my own cashew milk, like when our granddaughter has been here, and you can make your own almond milk. But it takes time, and we're really busy right now, and we don't have time to make absolutely everything from scratch when we already are doing so much. So that's not the best one, but it doesn't have carrageenan in it. It doesn't have vanilla. It doesn't have sugar. So it does have a little bit of salt. It has 150 milligrams in 1 cup, and it's 40 calories. So,
but again, we don't have a salt shaker on the table. I don't add salt to anything, and I consume more of the almond milk than Tami does as well.
I'll use a little bit of it in recipes like a cream soup, or I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I don't use it for Alma, for Sweet Pea.
Oops. Okay.
Because I use soy milk for her. So.
Okay. Yes, we freeze ripe bananas to make the ice cream, Linda. Absolutely.
Yeah. We wait until they get really, really spotted, because the more spotted they are, the sweeter they are. That's when all the natural sugars have really come out, and they're super sweet then. And then I use them to bake my really healthy treats, my muffins and all the little, the granola and all of that.
Yeah. So. Spirit Junkie, on the batch cooking conversation, if you go back, if you just click on videos on our channel and let it display all of them and scroll down, because we've been uploading to YouTube for a couple of years now, but you'll find some that touch on batch cooking earlier, I know, for salads.
Yeah, if you go to the blog, I have on the blog, there is a recipe tab at the top of the blog. Click on that, and then you get a menu comes up, and click on batch cooking, and I have quite a few blog post about batch cooking, and I think maybe there's only one or two videos, but I have blog posts about them, because for a while before life got too busy, I was documenting what I was batch cooking, and then when I was doing recipes, I would give you the links to the recipes too. So batch cooking absolutely has saved us. When we first went plant-based in 2013, I spent hours every day looking through cookbooks and looking on the internet for recipes, and then I would spend time running to buy all these special ingredients, and I was making all these recipes that were so labor intensive. And I just thought, this is not sustainable. I believe this is how I need to eat. And I, felt like it was the best thing for my health. But I thought, I cannot be spending every day in the kitchen for hours on end, and I cannot be running to the grocery store all the time buying all these ingredients. But I was making mock mayonnaise, and I was making salad dressings, and I was making mock sour cream, and all these things that just took so much time. And so when I finally figured out that we could eat pretty simply and enjoy the food, and that's it's a transition. It takes a while to get to that point, especially coming from the standard American diet. And once we got used to just eating food more plain and natural and thinking that it tasted great, my life got so much easier. And then I learned to batch cook because I was like, I am tired of making salads every day, dragging all the ingredients out every day. And, it would take me 30-40 minutes to make salads for the two of us. And I thought, there's got to be an easier way. And then I saw a friend of mine, BJ Swingle, who's in Chef AJ's Ultimate Weight Loss Program, which I'm also a member of. And she showed how, because she's a busy working mom, she showed how she batch prepped salads, and it was like, boom, big light bulb moment for me. And I thought, I'm doing that. So I do it different than BJ did. There's lots of different ways to do it. And so I thought, if I can batch prep salads, I can batch prep everything else, because I got also tired of, making rice every couple days or baking potatoes every day. It's like, I'm not turning my oven on to bake 2 potatoes. That's ridiculous.
We'll be, we get a lot of questions about the kind of global batch cooking, I guess we call it batch cooking lifestyle because it's how we eat. We have a couple of other projects in front of it, but we are laying down the outline for a batch cooking A to Z, start to finish academy level course. It'll be multiple chapters, and we'll have that on the Nutmeg. That'll be a paid webinar, but we'll get that on the education piece inside the blog. Where the Mexican Fiesta class is now. In front of that, we have a little ebook to get published on Tami's salads.
Chopped salads.
The whole process of chopped salads. And also some Chef AJ's UWL class. We're doing them live here in the Roseville market locally. So
we have a lot of things going, but the batch cooking simplifies everything, and just eating simple meals simplifies everything. We eat a lot of nourish bowls, we call them. You put starch in, put some vegetables in, and some kind of legumes if you want, and a little bit of seasoning, whether it's fresh herbs or a flavored vinegar or just some plain balsamic vinegar or salsa, and that is a meal. And we love eating simply now, and it's such a huge time saver. Plus we enjoy simple food now, which it's nice. Okay,
Susan sees tofu. It is
I don't eat the tofu. Tom eats tofu.
Where is it from
and tofu's to the left of the red line on the calorie density chart. So this has, in 3 ounces, it has 90 calories and 5 grams of fat and 15 milligrams of sodium. And that's not a problem for Tom.
Yeah,
I don't eat the tofu.
Yeah, sometimes I'll use half of one of these as I add into my lunch times. It's a pound of vegetables, and then 1/2 of one of these bricks of tofu.
Yeah. So he'll make this will be 4 servings for him.
And that's about every
meals.
3rd time. So those 2 bricks will last me a couple of weeks. Yeah, easy enough.
So that's for Tom. He eats the tofu. He can have the higher fat foods. He can have avocado. He can have the tofu.
On that note, we do our 4-mile walk every morning, and we have our health meters on our watches, and it counts the calories. And we're walking the same 4 miles, but I'm carrying more weight than her, and I'm taller, and
you're a man.
My calorie burn is usually about 50 calories more.
Oh, about 100.
100 calories more every morning.
Mine's about 260 calories for the exercise
and mine's
part.
Like 340.
And yours is, So, so he burns because he's a man and he has a lot more muscle mass than I do. And he burns more calories than I do. And he can eat the higher fat.
And that's not a trigger food for you.
And I don't mind him having tofu. I mean, I like tofu, but I I don't crave tofu. I don't want his tofu, but the tofu is for him. And maybe a couple times a year, I might have something with a small amount of tofu in it. It's not good for weight loss. Tofu isn't. In fact, any of the higher fat plant foods, although they're healthy, they are not optimal for weight loss. So it depends on where you are in your journey too. If you're trying to lose weight, we've been to hear Dr. Barnard speak. A lot of the plant-based doctors will tell you to avoid the higher fat plant foods. There's nothing wrong with them. They're very healthy, but they're not optimal for weight loss. I'm also hypothyroid, so I gain weight super easy, even though I'm very active, and I can't eat the higher fat foods on any regular basis. So yes, we do have tofu, and yes, Tom does eat it because he can. He can. He's lucky. The guys are just lucky. But I don't want to be a man just so I can eat tofu.
Well, thank you to everybody that came online.
We appreciate it.
Glad you were here with us.
If you would give us a thumbs up, that helps our ratings here.
Click on the bell.
Click on the bell next to the subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. And if you click on the bell, every time we have a new video or we go live, you'll get a notification about that. If you could share this video on Facebook, we would really appreciate that as well. We're trying to reach as many people as we can. It's our mission in retirement to teach people how to make this lifestyle sustainable, because we believe it is the best thing for your health and for the environment, and certainly for the animals. And we want to thank you for watching. Make sure you go over to nutmegnotebook.com and subscribe. Subscribers get 2 exclusive recipes that are only for subscribers. Those will come immediately. You'll get a link in your email for that. Plus, we have hundreds of recipes over there that we have yet to make YouTube videos for. So if you would do that and follow us, we'd really appreciate it. I'm on Instagram under Nutmeg Notebook, where I post a lot of what I ate in a day, and also follow my Nutmeg Notebook Facebook page. Thanks for watching. I'm Tami.
And Tom.
And we help you get healthy and stay healthy one meal at a time. Bye.